Welcome to my first video podcast, Patriots. I'm Crystal Monroe, and I'm a grassroots activist from Oklahoma. If you haven't already, please take the time and subscribe to the Founding Fathers Club. Give me a like and a share if you're so inclined. So, I'm actually going to be discussing today about how we the people can stop communism from taking root in our great nation. So, commonly when people hear of communism, they instantly think of China. However, I think it's fair to include Russia into that equation. I say that based on the structure of how each was inherited or founded. So communist China basically inherited an imperialistic dynasty, and Russia, the SSR, inherited, the profits and livelihoods of generations of czars that also had an imperialistic attitude. So while the blueprints for each are different, the long-term goal of Marxism is the same for both. While America heavily defended ourselves against the SSR, I would say the leniency that we've had on the Chinese government has allowed them to take an irresponsible role on the forefront of the national world stage, and I just think it's dangerous. And it's kind of ironic to me that over the last 4 years we've heard the Democrat Party speak breathlessly about Russia's threat to our country while remaining absolutely mute on China. So let's discuss the public facts. The appearance of impropriety is a law, but you wouldn't know that by the way Joe Biden handled, or should I say mishandled, his title as Vice President of these United States. It is very well documented that Joe Biden and his entire family, James Biden, Hunter Biden, every other scandal aside, has immensely profited off of his title, not just as Vice President, but of every government position he has ever held. And although it is public record with our lovely state-run media, it's very well hidden. What about Senator Feinstein? What about the fact that for 20 years, a Chinese spy was her driver? Not only is it not okay, it's absolutely unacceptable. But the last time I checked, she still holds her seat, and she was berating Christians and chastising them about the dogma that lives strongly within them. More public facts. The recent revelations of Congressman Eric Swalwell and his extramarital affair with none other than a Chinese spy that the Democrat Party deemed appropriate to nominate as the president of these United States this year in the last election. The corruption is blinding, but the silence is deafening. And speaking of corruption, let's discuss COVID-19 for a moment. Does anyone else find it very curious that Joe Biden literally ran an entire presidential campaign from his basement pertaining to COVID-19? China unleashed a virus on America, and it has devastated our economy, especially the lower and middle class. Local governments have forced small businesses to close their doors while allowing huge corporations to continue to stay open, all with little to no pushback from our federal government. Personal story real quick. On the week of Thanksgiving, I flew to Georgia to help with the upcoming Senate race. You heard me right, Patriots. I got on an unsocial distance airplane and I sat shoulder to shoulder with strangers, and the guy next to me snored all the way to Atlanta. Meanwhile, places of worship across the nation are forced to close their doors. Why? Why are churches closed? Why are synagogues being punished? Why are our restaurants closed? Why can't we go to the bar and have a drink with our friends and discuss our week? Perhaps they don't want us talking. We see it on social media every day. Conservative thoughts are often silenced, censored, and muted, along with facts that don't align with the liberal agenda. What if we are being ostracized from society because they want to mute us? More and more, we see social media, Hollywood, and so-called journalists using these communist Marxist tactics against we the people. And this isn't the first time. This is nothing new. In 1947, Truman signed an executive order demanding government officials show loyalty to the American government and America over the Chinese. Same can be said for Hollywood and the media. And if you take a look, these are the same institutions that use Marxist tactics today. Look at Hollywood and the way they coddle the Chinese Communist government by censoring videos and movies at the whims of the government. Just look at the NBA, who stands up for China despite all of the violations of human rights to we don't even know how many people. And the media has one job: report the truth, which they refuse to do. For too long, conservatives have coddled the radical left. I've been in politics for a few years, and I've really never seen anything like it. Good, law-abiding citizens have watched as our most elite agencies have been weaponized against one political party for political gain, not only with zero repercussion, but as they blatantly brag about it. We've watched GOP officials be gunned down on congressional baseball fields by a Bernie Sanders supporter, and we were told just be quiet. Don't talk about it. It was probably reported for a week and a half. We all watched it. Auntie Maxine and all of the Democrat leaders calling for civil unrest. And we all watched as their foot soldiers took to the streets and burned our cities. What disturbs me the most is recently when we watched governors that were willing to stand down to terrorist criminals like Antifa and allow them to wreak havoc and destruction on the law-abiding citizens. But these governors were brave enough to enact the police against constitutional abiding electors. What America is this? I'll tell you what kind of America this is. It's the kind of America where I won't be quiet, and I won't be silenced, and I won't be muted. And that is why I named this podcast The Founding Fathers Club, because I believe in life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And I don't think that it's just a dream or an American luxury. I, in my heart, believe that it is my God-given right. That is something that our forefathers knew, and that is something that millions of Americans have not forgotten. There are two ways to end communist rule. One, the elite stand up, buck against the system, and give the government back to the people. Two, the people get sick of it, and they rebel against the elites, and they take their nation and government back. The same could be said with keeping communism from a wonderful nation like America. Either our politicians are going to protect our Constitution and our values. God bless you, Patriots, and thank you for tuning in to my first video podcast of the Founding Fathers Club. I will be posting a video every Thursday, so remember to subscribe, give me a like, give me a share. I'm new here, so put me in front of some people and see if they like what I have to say as well. I really appreciate the support and the subscribers that I do have that are here from Twitter. So if you are there, go ahead and give me a follow. Crystal__Monroe. That is me. Thank you, Patriots, for taking the time to support my video. Have a blessed day.